Our next guest is raising awareness about learning disabilities that kids often hide, sometimes for decades. Joining us now is Brent Sopel. 10 years ago, he won a Stanley Cup as a member of the Chicago Blackhawks. However, he's on to something bigger now. Brent just releasing a stunning new documentary about his lifelong struggles with dyslexia. Brent, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
So in this short film, you introduce yourself as Brent Sopel, and I've never read a book. Now, for people out there who don't know much about dyslexia, what exactly is it and how deeply does it actually impact reading and writing?
Dyslexia is something that you're born with. So you start struggling from the first time you pick up a book. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 3 years old, whatever that may be, you start struggling. Everybody thinks it's just flipping your B's and D's or flipping your numbers. There's a heck of a lot more that goes along with that. It's the self-esteem that really drives home that I talk about every day. When you're on the same level, if you're in grade 1 or you're in grade 10 or you're a junior in high school or you're a senior in college, if you don't know and you're not on the same level as your peers, it's very tough.
So let's talk about your season, 16 of them as a professional hockey player and a Stanley Cup championship player. How did those frustrations with dyslexia come out? And for those watching parents out there, what kind of tips can you share with them, the signs to look out for?
So I was diagnosed at the age of 33, with dyslexia. I grew up thinking I was dumb, stupid, and lazy. Those are the words that I heard every single day. But just this struggling, I got into alcohol, I got into drugs. I had no self-esteem. I had nothing. So, parents during this biggest epidemic, the online e-learning, if your kid is struggling, close the book. The self-esteem is the most important thing that they have, and if they struggle for too long, they lose that. So I don't care if it's a math problem, I don't care if it's a science problem, I don't care what it is. There's nothing more important than their self-esteem. So I don't care about any homework, I don't care what the teacher says. That self-esteem is more important than anything.
So a lot of people don't know that dyslexia can actually be hereditary, running in families. So how did you actually had to you recognize symptoms in your own daughter, and what should parents do to get that early diagnosis?
Yeah, you're correct. It is hereditary. So my daughter's very happy that I passed it along to her. But if it wasn't for her, there she is smiling, I wouldn't have known I had dyslexia to this day. So we took her in when she was in grade 1, got her tested, and she's now a freshman in college. Struggling with everybody else with the online e-learning. She is not in college. She's doing the first semester online. So she's struggling. But for parents, go through this. I'm launching a new website. It's going to be BrentSopelFoundation.org here October 1st. There's going to be an online test that you can go on there, and there's 10 or 12 questions. If you kind of turn positive more than 50% of those questions you answer, then there's the next step should be taken in going to get your son or daughter tested. The earlier you get diagnosed, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, whatever that is, the better it is. Your main reading areas is grade 3 and 4. And, if you know what it is, you have a better chance of understanding how your kid's going to read and react every single day.
We were going to ask you about that and how your organization is helping, and you just answered that. I'm just curious, I've always thought it was flipping of the letters. What else, how else do you see words in a book when you're reading?
My documentary is called Here to Change the World, but I have to educate the world before I can change it. And you're just like everybody else. They don't know what it is. For example, dyslexics, some dyslexics don't know their lefts from their rights. So if you're playing sports, you might get yelled at for going the wrong way. The most severe dyslexic individual will never read a day in their life. So for me, if there's a big word that it doesn't sound out and spell the same, I'll never get it. So there's probably 20 or 25 different things that dyslexics struggle with. And you're right, flipping B's and D's is one of those 25.
Brent, you're now coaching younger hockey players. What is the message you want people to know about dyslexia and to be a catalyst for success as well as failure?
Dyslexic, what it is, it's a learning difference. That's all it is. We need to be taught differently, and take a look at the 300 million kids we got out there. Just we learn we learn differently. That's it. It's not a learning disorder; it's a learning difference. So the whole education needs to be changed. We're all different. We're all unique individuals. God made us who we are. We just have to learn how to teach each one of us the right way.
Well, Brent, you are a rock star for being vulnerable and going out there and talking about this. We really appreciate you sharing your story this morning with us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. We've got some hockey fans in here, too. For more information about dyslexia and the documentary called Brent Sopel, Here to Change the World, check out BrentSopelFoundation.org. You can also follow him on Twitter.
A lot of athletes, they get a platform, and some take advantage of it, and some don't.
Yeah.
And certainly taking advantage of his.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Good.